And hey there, dreamers, friends, dudes and ladies alike. Clever Trev here. Thanks for tuning in. We're doing a little something different today. I'm playing Dreams on the PlayStation 4, and we're just going to be following one of the Dreams Workshop tutorials, and we're going to be doing the art tutorial. Now, I've gone through a lot of these already in the creator beta. I should probably go through them again. There's some new ones, but we're just going to be specifically going through the art. So you want to make things look pretty. Use visual effects, make a scene shape, sculpture that look vibrant with color. You don't have to be an artist to make art and dreams. Come on in. So, we're going to try to get through all three of these tutorials, starting with coat, style, and effects, then sculpting, then painting. If you've got a scene with some objects you'd like to imbue with color, texture, movement, or even make them glow, look no further. This is all about the basics of coat, style, and effects modes and how to make your sculptures and paintings to the next level. Start tutorial. Let's go. Time to shut up, Trev.
Are you ready to get those creative juices flowing?
Yeah.
This tutorial's all about making your creations beautiful.
Sweet.
Now, this is Connie's front garden. But what's this?
Oh
It's
no.
had all the color, style, and magic sucked out of it.
Sucked.
But not to worry, Connie. We can help make the garden pretty again with the power of dreams. Just to start you off, all the lighting's already done. We can learn more about that later. And because I'm ever your servant, I've also grouped some of these objects just for you. It'll make editing them quicker and easier. So what does the garden need? Well, it could do with some color, texture, and movement. Luckily, the coat, style, and effects modes are the perfect tools to do that. They don't create new objects. They modify existing sculptures and paintings. And they work on groups.
Yay.
With just a little practice, you can become a master of them all. So let's start by adding some color with the tint tool. Open the assembly menu with the square button and go to the modes menu.
Square?
Each mode has its own set of tools and options. The tint tool is in coat mode. It has an icon that looks like a pot of paint being spilled. Select it by pressing the X button.
Selected.
As you can see, the assembly menu has now been replaced with the coat menu. In the top row, you'll find options and helpers. Along the bottom, you'll find the tools. Now, which color to use? Open the colors menu in the top row of icons. These are color groups. You can expand a color group with X. Each group contains more shades that you can choose from. I'm going to find a green for the foliage, but if green's not your thing, you can experiment. Is the menu too long? You can scroll it by grabbing it with R2. Pick a shade, or if you fancy a more painterly or organic look, choose the tumbler color at the end of the group. That will apply a random shade that changes as you work.
That's cool.
When you've chosen a color, you're ready to go to the next step.
So it just had us select our coat mode, and then we picked a color, and we picked like that green thing over there. So let's go to the next step. Hey, what's up, Benji?
To add color to our scene, we'll use the tint tool, which has an icon like an airbrush. You can manually select it in the tools menu. But in coat mode, choosing a color from the colors menu equips the tint tool automatically.
Sure.
See the airbrush icon on the tip of your imp. The tint tool recolors objects, either tinting or completely covering their original color. Just press and hold R2 to tint the objects at the tip of your imp. No need to select or scope into anything. The rounded clumps look a bit dreary in this scene. Let's add some color. You can see that the longer you hold R2, the stronger the tint gets. And with a tumbler color selected, it will cycle through different shades.
So we got the random one on, so it's just randomizing the colors.
If you make a mistake, you can undo using the left direction
You should,
button.
Benji. I'm already learning.
Or set your tool to subtract and you can detint. How do you do that? If you press triangle while the tool is active, your imp will change to an outline. So now it will remove tint instead of adding it. And
So
that works on pretty much all of the coat, style, and effects tools. Just press triangle when they're equipped to make them subtractive.
Super good.
Try removing some color using subtractive tint now. Just hold R2 over the object. And to make the tool additive again, press triangle.
Triangle. R2.
Now that you've got to grips with that, you can color in the whole scene with the tint tool. Go wild. Use different colors to tint the path, rocks, river, grass, trees, and the little cottage. The colors menu has all the colors you need. Just open a color group and pick a shade, or the tumbler color. Take some time to color your scene. When you're done, move on to the next step.
Okay. So I'm not going to take too much time. I already kind of know what I'm doing here. So that was green. We're going to switch our color to gray, and let's just turn stuff gray. Specifically these rocks. They're already kind of gray. I don't really got to even mess with those. Let's go to brown. Turn the house brown. Make the roof a little darker. Make the door even darker. So hey Benji, thanks for popping in. Pretty much just following this tutorial, kind of assuming whoever's watching is new to Dreams. And even if you're not, there's still stuff you can still learn, like a couple things I've noticed already I didn't really realize. Green. But let's move on to the next tutorial. We're going to assume you maybe pause the video if you're following this, and so let's move on.
Good job.
Brown.
Now your scene is beautifully colored in. Let's add some texture to it. For that, we need to leave coat mode and go into style mode. To leave a mode, select the exit button in the top right of the screen.
I don't recommend that.
You can use a shortcut. Hold L1 and press circle. Just like
so we're in coat mode. I recommend just getting used to holding L1 and circle.
Now use the modes menu to switch over to style mode. The style mode icon is an S-shaped brushstroke.
S.
All sculptures and paintings in Dreams are made up of flecks, and style mode is where we manipulate them. For example, notice how the objects in this scene look smooth. That's because their flecks are small and tightly packed together. We can make them more textured with the looseness tool. Select the looseness tool. It looks like a blurry circle.
We're on it. Looseness tool.
Now try using R2 to loosen some of the foliage in the scene. Don't hold back.
Oh, look at that. So that's what looseness does. I just undid it.
As you can
Hold
see,
R2.
Loosening sculptures and
it loosens
paintings
it up.
means their flecks become more obvious. If you think they're getting too loose,
I love this
press
game.
triangle to make the tools subtractive and tighten them up again
Too
with
much.
R2.
So we're gonna hit triangle and bring it down.
Or
That's
you
one
can
thing.
just use the left directional button to undo.
Or we can just hit left D-pad undo.
Don't forget to loosen up the river too. We'll need it in the following steps.
Oh, we didn't make the river blue. Okay, we'll do that next.
Carry on loosening the objects in the scene. When you're happy, proceed to the next step.
So we're not too worried about this part. Let's make a little bit of grassy looking stuff. Pretty much anything that's green I can kind of loosen it up, make it look like grass. And eventually you'll find there's different types of grass, flecks, but I didn't realize this was supposed to be water. So real quick, we're going to do what we did earlier. We're going to go to coat mode. We're just going to change the color to blue. Let's find a good blue color. Boom. Let's just turn this whole river to blue. You still see that whole blue goes all the way through the map, luckily. So let's move on. Sorry, I can't really comment on
Connie's garden looks
the stream.
like a lovely painting. Let's look at the water now. Water has a reflective quality, so let's add some shine to the river.
Okay.
This is where the finish tool comes in. Exit out of style mode with L1 and circle and head back into coat mode in the modes menu.
Coat mode right here.
Next to the colors menu in coat mode, you'll find the finishes menu. Select it with X. These finishes change the way objects react to light in your scene. Using finishes, you can make objects shiny, rough, metallic, or even translucent. Now you can choose your finish for the river. Let's see.
Let's see.
Ah, yes. How about
guess.
shiny wax?
Boom.
Wax finishes are translucent, and the shine will give the river a reflective surface that will catch the light.
Excellent.
Apply the finishes before using R2. Remember that you can revert your changes by switching to subtractive mode with triangle, or by using undo.
Shiny.
Try
It's gonna
editing
be
the
hard to
finish
tell.
on other groups and objects in the scene.
Shiny, not shiny.
Continue
Shiny,
to the
not
next
shiny.
step when
Gonna
you're
keep it
ready.
shiny. So again, we're just going to coat mode, and now we're going to finishes. So we could make it like look like metal, shiny metal, for example. We would look more like this. So if you're trying to make like a sword or gold or some type of metal, it'll look more like that. But we don't want that. We want this. Let's move on.
Our river looks nice and shiny now, but something's missing. It doesn't flow like water does. But there's a magical tool for that in effects mode.
Holy
It's
shit!
called the flow tool.
The flow tool.
Leave coat mode if you haven't already, and enter effects mode.
L1 encircle the leave coat
The
mode. Now
effects
we're going
mode
to
icon has some twinkly stars on it.
effects mode right here.
Alongside the flow tool, you'll notice other animated effects that you can apply to sculptures or paintings. But for now, we'll pick the flow tool. Its icon is a tap, or a faucet if you're from the US.
Yep.
Press
Well,
X over the flow
who
tool
knows where you're
to
from.
select it,
America.
and use R2 to apply it to the river. Isn't that lovely? In effects mode, you can preview the flow effect even when time is paused. But if you leave effects mode, you'll need to click R3 to see the effects in action.
Right click.
When the river's flowing at the right speed, you may notice something a bit odd. It's flowing
It's
the
not-
wrong way.
Right. It's flowing like
Let's
left to
fix
right.
that using another tool found in style mode, the comb tool. Leave
we're gonna
effects
go up.
mode using L1 and circle,
L1
then
and
go
circle.
back into style mode via the modes menu.
Style mode.
The comb tool icon is some wavy lines. Select it with X.
Right here.
Now we're going to make the river flow
Comb.
the correct way. How do we do that? You guessed it. Hold
You
R2
guessed
to
it.
comb the flecks of the river so they go in the right direction.
So it's going this way right
We're no
now.
longer in effects mode,
Now we
so
have
we
to comb
can't
it
see the flow effect
that way.
animating. But just click R3 to start time, and you'll be
I'm
able
already-
to see it again.
So I
The
could have it
key
going
is to
like
move
that
your
way,
imp in the direction you'd like the flecks to flow.
but we want it to go
A
that
bit
way.
like you're combing the river's hair. Very
Combing the
stylish.
hair.
Let go of R2 when you're happy with the flow direction. And now you can see the river is going the correct way. But if it isn't, just undo and try again.
Comb tool. Drag
When
and
you're
drop.
happy with the speed and direction of the river, click L3 to rewind time. Then it's off to the next step.
So we're pretty happy with that. Again, we just went to the effects, comb. I don't even know. Next step. Wasn't effects, it was style.
This scene is really coming together.
Thanks.
Next, let's do something interesting with the chimney smoke. Move closer to the smoke so you can see the flecks clearly. These flecks don't look very smoky, do they? Let's
No.
change that.
They're just sitting there.
If you're not already in style mode, head there now using the modes menu.
Mode, style mode.
Open the flex menu with X. It's the button in the center of the top row. Now choose a fleck that looks smoky. How about the dots fleck? When you choose a fleck type, it will automatically select the Apply Fleck tool. Now, hover your imp over the smoke and hold R2.
R2.
The flecks will change.
Check that out. It went from this
That's better. Let's inspect it
to
now
this.
using the grab cam. Grab it with
Let's do
R1.
this.
And while you're grabbing, spin around it with the left or right stick.
Looks better.
The paint strokes look a bit flat, don't they? You can only
Yeah, they
see
do.
them well from certain angles. We can make it a bit more billowy and three-dimensional using the Impasto tool. In the Style menu, select the Impasto tool, then hold R2 to apply it to the smoke.
Wait, he did that quick. Where's the impasto tool?
Watch as the individual flecks of the painting
Wait. Impasto. Am I blind? Oh. Okay. So I can start applying impasto. Let's resume this. Where's the plate? There you go.
become more three-dimensional. To see it better, use the grab cam to spin around the smoke again. You can also press undo and redo to compare the smoke with and without impasto.
It's looking good. I pretty much did like
Now
max
that you've
impasto.
mastered impasto, the last style tool we're going to use is the ruffle tool. The ruffle tool icon looks like a lot of lines going in different directions. It will randomly rotate the flecks so they're not as orderly. It works in the same way as the other two tools. Select it with X, then use R2 to apply it. And switch the tool to subtractive by pressing triangle.
So it went from very
Ruffle
straight
makes
to...
quite a difference, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Why not see if you can animate the smoke using the flow tool in effects mode?
So go back to effects mode. Flow.
When you're happy, go to the next step of the tutorial.
So there was no flow, but if we go to flow and we drag it up, look at that flow. Check that shit out. Fuck yeah. Excuse my language. No,
Now that the
fuck
scene
yeah.
is looking good, we should make Connie's cottage look more welcoming for her. We can do that using something called the glow tool. So head back to the modes menu and into coat mode.
Modes, coat mode. So you click here to get modes,
The glow
coat
tool
mode.
has an icon that looks like a little sun. Select it with X, then move your view over to the cottage for a closer look. Now position your view so that you can see the door and the window of the cottage. Then hold R2 over the window in the door to make it glow. Go on, give it some welly.
Holy
Oh,
shit,
that's
too much glow.
Too bright. Let's press triangle to make the tool subtractive. Then use R2 to reduce the glow.
Glow. Oh, too much. Triangle.
Maybe you could try
Glow down.
tinting the window to
Triangle.
change the color of the
Glow
light.
up. Triangle.
See what you
glow
think.
down. We could go to colors. Maybe go
Have a play
to...
with the glow tool,
Let's go yellow.
and then move on to the next step when you're ready.
Let's do purple. Pink. Oops. Maybe go to pink glow? Who cares? Next step.
The scene looks so alive now, and Connie's in love with her new home.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that this scene used to be all grey and blocky. Let's try something. How different did we actually make it? To see, we can use a special trick. Press square to open the menu, and then take a look in the Show Hide section. The Show Hide icon looks like an open eye. It can be found in most of the mode's menus. In the Show Hide menu, you can make all sorts of different objects visible or invisible. It only works in edit mode, so your scene will still look the same in play mode. Some of them are on by default, and some are switched off.
On, off, up,
Coat,
up,
style,
on,
and effects is one of the options which is on by default. Its icon is a combination of the icons for all three of those modes. Try turning it off by pressing X over it. Wow, what an amazing difference. That shows you how powerful these
See, I've never done that
really
before.
are. Using
It's
coat,
cool.
style, and effects, you can make even the most boring block come alive. Practice using the tools and see what you can come up with. When you're finished, go to play mode in the options menu and walk Connie into her beautiful new home. This will complete the tutorial.
Cool. So just kind of basic stuff, but a lot of those little things that they added in there, you kind of forget about. It's a cool little ending. I like that. I like it a lot. Not the most entertaining stream. It's more of something for people that want to watch this another time. They're like, hey, I'm trying to learn this. So that was the first part, coat, style, and effects. Man, that took a little bit longer than I expected. I don't know if I'll be able to get through all three of these. I guess we'll see. Sculpting. Ever wonder how characters, landscape, get to know the basics of sculpt mode and make your own sculptures in no time at all. Let's start it up.
In this lesson, I'll show you how to sculpt your own objects from scratch, which will come in handy because Cuthbert's having a meltdown.
No.
Again.
No.
Fortunately, we can use the tools in sculpt mode to help get Connie to Cuthbert and escort him to safety. Go to the assembly menu, press the square button to open it if it's closed, and select the modes menu with the X button. Select sculpt mode with X. Its icon has some 3D shapes on it. Every time you enter sculpt mode from the modes menu, a new sculpture will be created. You'll also notice that when you're in sculpt mode, everything outside the sculpture will be blurred and grayed out. This is to help you focus on what you're creating. You can adjust visual feedback in your preferences, which you can find in the options menu. When you first enter sculpt mode, the shapes menu will open automatically and the smear shape tool will be equipped to your imp. Try smearing a shape now by holding R2 and moving your imp around. It's great for making organic forms. Now that's out of your system, undo all of it by using the left directional button. By using this tool, we'll help Connie get across the first gap. Move your view a bit closer to the action, looking side on at the space between the platforms. Make sure you can see the platforms and that your imp can reach them. We want to build an organic structure for Connie to walk on, so let's pick an appropriate shape. Select one from the Shapes menu, and you'll see it on the end of your imp. Use the up and down directional buttons to scale it to an appropriate size. While you have a shape on your imp, you can use the grab cam to zoom in and out. Just hold R1 and use the left stick. Now position your imp next to the platform on one side of the gap. Then hold down R2 and use the motion sensor function or the left stick to smear your shape in the gap so that Connie can walk on it. If you want to have another go at it, just undo using the left directional button. Feel free to press and let go of R2 as many times as you want. Each press will create a new edit within your sculpture. Bear in mind that all the edits you make are part of a single sculpture, even if they aren't connected. This means that in assembly mode, they'll behave like a single object. Why not try out different shapes to see what works best? Try holding L2 as you sculpt and use the left and right sticks to rotate the shape. Maybe try making something like a rock formation or a tree trunk. The cool thing is, sculpts are automatically physical, so they can be walked on by puppets like Connie immediately. When you want to try it out, switch to play mode in the options menu and get Connie to walk around on your sculpture. When you're happy
Start
to
play
move on,
mode.
go back to edit mode and proceed to the next step.
Oh, a little more smaller than I expected. Alright, so we just kind of smeared some objects, whatever. Nothing too crazy. Okay, edit mode.
What happens when we want to edit an existing sculpture rather than start a new one? Let's investigate. When we went into play mode, we were taken out of sculpt mode. When you're in assembly mode, scope back into your sculpture. Hover over it with your imp, hold L1 and press X. It's just like scoping into a group. Have a go at it now. Now we're here, let's try editing the shapes you've already made. To move or rotate shapes, unequip the smear shape tool by pressing circle. This automatically equips the move tool. You might notice most of the movement controls in sculpt mode are the same as in assembly mode. Grab and move shapes with R2. Rotate them using L2 and the sticks or the touchpad.
It's all glitchy.
You can hold L1 and move with R2 to clone your shapes or scale them with the up and down buttons. You can even repeat clone. But unlike assembly mode, you can't select things with X in sculpt mode. Now try moving, rotating, and scaling your individual shapes.
Just copying and
If you
pasting.
want to smear some shapes again, just go to the Sculpt Tools menu and select the Smear Shape tool. The icon is a row of intersecting squares. Now you can play around at sculpting with different shapes. Don't forget that you can undo and redo at any time.
Easy.
If
Okay.
you accidentally scope out, you can scope back into your sculpture by hovering over it with your imp and pressing L1 and X.
L1, X. We're scope back in again.
In the next step, I'll show you how to color your sculpture.
Cool. Next step.
You've probably noticed by now that all your sculptures are orangey brown, like clay. That's the default color, but you can sculpt with any color you like. If you're in assembly mode, hover over your sculpture with your imp, then hold L1 and press X to scope back into it.
L1, X.
Next, head to the Colors section in the Sculpt menu.
Colors.
And press X over a color group to see the different shades. Choose a color, any one you like.
Let's do whatever he picks.
And as if by magic, the shape on your imp is now the color you chose.
Light gray.
Any new shapes you make will be that color, but the old shapes are still brown. Luckily, we can also color shapes after we've created them, using the spray paint tool. Go to the Sculpt menu and open the Tools section with X. Then select the spray paint tool, which has a spray can icon. Now your imp will have an outline of the current shape on its tip. Intersect the shape with your sculpture and you'll see the spray paint color appear on it.
See that?
Hold R2 to apply the spray paint to the shapes.
So I can do a little
You can try
detail.
out different colors and shapes to completely change the look of your sculpture. If you want to make it easier to keep your imp on the surface of the sculpture, you can use the Surface Snap guide. You can find Surface Snap in the Sculpt Guides menu. Select it with X to turn it on.
Surface
There's
Snap.
a Guides menu in every mode, though not all guides are available everywhere.
So now it locks onto
You can
the
also
surface.
change the finish of your sculpture using the Finishes menu. The Coat Style and
Finishes, we
Effects
could go
tutorial has
metal.
more on finishes if you're curious.
Just
By
throw some
now,
random
you should
paint.
have an organic looking form, and it will be whatever color your imagination conjured up. If you switched on Surface Snap, switch it off in the Guides menu before continuing. Just select the button with
Guides.
X to turn it off.
We're going to turn off Surface Snap.
Then, when you're ready, proceed to the next step.
And we're ready.
All these smeared shapes are creating one single sculpture, even if there's space between them. But you can also use the smear tool to remove from the sculpture, instead of adding to it. To do that, we need to make the tool subtractive. Scope into your sculpture, if you haven't already, with L1 and X.
L1X.
When the Smear Shape tool is equipped to your imp, you can press triangle to make it subtractive. You'll notice that your imp turns into an outline. The shape on your imp becomes an outline too. You can now use the Smear tool to cut into your sculpture. Try using different shapes to see what effect they have.
Pause that real quick. Missing something here. See shapes. Tools. There you go. So I scope in with L1 and X. Normally it's like this. I hit triangle, I can delete stuff. Like that. Let's continue the video.
For a really cool effect, try subtracting with a different colored shape on your imp. How good is that?
Not sure what he's talking about there. Don't care.
You can switch the tool between additive and subtractive by pressing triangle.
So triangle, I can either do this, or I
Why
can
not play
hit triangle
around with the tools a
again.
bit and try to make a dramatic or interesting looking form? When you're happy with its shape, go into play mode and see if you can get Connie across it.
Oh man.
If you need to edit it, just come back to edit mode via the options menu.
Let's make sure
Don't
to give
forget
her.
to scope back into your sculpture using L1 and X. When Connie
her a
has
little
successfully
finish.
crossed the first gap in play mode, Switch back to edit
Oh,
mode,
there's the first gap.
then go to the next step.
Not sure if I did that. Let's finish this gap here. Alright, Connie, let's get your fucking ass over here. There you go. We could just finish it now, but let's keep learning.
Smearing shapes can be a messy business. Sometimes you just want to
What's up,
create
Jim?
neat
Welcome back.
sculptures. Luckily, there are ways to do that. So go to the Assembly menu and select Sculpt in the Modes menu. This will
Modes.
create a new sculpture.
Sculpt.
Now let's practice sculpting an architectural structure over the second gap. To help us build a neater bridge, open the Guides section of the Sculpt menu. In Guides, switch on
Guides.
Grid Snap by pressing X over it.
This is a good tutorial.
You'll
This is
see
really
a number
important.
appear next to the button. That's how
1.
big the grid squares will be. You'll notice the white dotted grid in the scene. The spacing of the dots shows the tightness of the grid.
So right now it's on
They
1.
will change orientation depending on your point of view.
Do 2 bigger.
We'll leave it on the
go
default
to
setting
8,
for now.
16.
You can experiment with it later. Now
Experiment
try
with
making a
image.
colourful sculpture using the Smear and Move tools and the Colours menu. This will
Yeah, I'm
just
not too
be a
worried about the
practice
colours
one,
right now.
So don't spend too long on it. We'll delete it and make an even better one in a minute. You'll notice that it's much easier to keep your shapes neat and straight this time. That's because Grid Snap is active. It makes your tools and objects snap to the grid. It also helps you rotate precisely. Try it out using L2 or the touchpad. With Grid Snap on, objects rotate 45 degrees at a time. You can rotate the shape on the end of your imp before you stamp it, or use the Move tool to rotate shapes that are already placed.
Very useful tips right here. Putting the grid on and rotating,
When you're
trying to keep
comfortable
things straight.
sculpting with Grid Snap, continue to the next step.
Alright, next step.
If we want to make a super neat bridge, there's another guide we can use. If you're still in sculpt mode, scope out of it with L1 and circle. Once you're in assembly mode, delete your sculpture with triangle. Go to the Modes menu. Click the Sculpt Mode button to start a new sculpture.
Okay.
Now we're in sculpt mode, the Guides menu will have different options. Open the Guides menu and switch on the Mirror Guide.
Mirror. Looks like a dude looking in a
Don't
mirror.
worry about the 2 additional options. Let's investigate them later.
Okay.
Also, check the Grid Snap is still turned on.
67
Now select the
streak.
Smear tool in your chosen color and shape.
Better clip that. Color.
The Mirror Guide will always center on the first shape you make. That's why we started a new sculpture. Now, move your view so you can see all of the second gap, and your imp can reach it. If you need to, use the grab cam to zoom out a little from the shape on your imp. Now stamp your first shape right in the center of the gap to enable the Mirror Guide. Then smear your shape from the center over to the edge of the gap where it meets the platform. You'll see that your sculpt is mirrored, so you only have to make half of the bridge, and it'll be nice and symmetrical, leaving you to focus on making it fabulous.
Fabulous.
Carry on sculpting and carving your bridge until you're happy.
I'm always happy.
Test it in play mode. And when Connie is over the second gap, return to edit mode via the options menu.
Alright, we're a little too far ahead of ourselves, but it's okay. So we made it.
When you're back in edit mode, switch off the mirror guide. You can also switch off grid snap if you want, before moving on to the next step.
It's fine, we'll turn off grid snap and whatever. Let's move on.
Now we need to create a bridge across the last gap. For that, we're going to use the mighty stamp tool. First, we'll need to create a new sculpture by going to sculpt mode via the modes menu. Now that you're in sculpt mode, make sure you've switched off the mirror guide before you continue.
Yep, we turned that off already. Wait, no we didn't.
You'll be equipped with the smear shape tool by default, so you'll need to switch to the stamp shape tool. You can find stamp shape in the sculpt mode tools menu, next to smear shape.
So go to
Its
tools,
icon is a
stamp
simple
shape.
square. You can quickly switch between the stamp and smear tools
City building game on a
using
cover.
L1 and triangle.
What's up, Dex?
It's a bit like switching between additive and subtractive,
Share it with me.
but with L1 held down. Stamping shapes is a bit like stamping objects from the Dreamiverse. With the stamp shape tool, you only stamp one shape at a time, no matter how long you hold R2 or X.
As opposed to smearing where you
This
have
has
that.
additional benefits too, which you'll see later. Now select the cube in the Shapes menu, then stamp one at the side of the gap. We're almost there, Connie.
Almost there, honey.
Open the Sculpt Tools menu again,
Building
and
game
this time
undercover.
pick the Stretch tool. Its icon is a double-ended arrow.
Tools, stretch.
When Stretch is selected, hovering your imp over a shape will cause an arrow gizmo to appear. Hover over the side of the cube that's facing the opposite platform. Press and hold R2 when the arrow is showing, and use your imp to stretch the shape across the gap. Nice. Let go of R2 when you're done stretching. It's not
I'd
a
have to
very
see it.
exciting bridge right now, but I've got something great to customize it with soon.
Dex, yeah, I mean, I'd have to see what you're talking about to know what you're talking about. If you can give me something to look at, I could definitely give you some ideas. I'd love to help you.
You can stretch any shape you've sculpted, regardless of what shape it is. Spheres, cones, and even donuts can be stretched. You can even stretch subtractive shapes, but only at the points where they intersect with the sculpture. Have some fun with the stretch tool, but don't go to play mode just yet. When you're ready to take this bridge and your sculpting skills to the next level, continue to the final step.
I'm ready to take our relationship to the next level. Media molecule, dude. I've played SimCity the game, not SimCity.
You've already sculpted, but there's also a way to edit the shape before stamping or smearing. First of all, make sure you're still scoped into the sculpture. If not, hover over the bridge, hold L1 and press X to scope in. Also, make sure that you're using the stamp shape tool and not the smear shape. Next, choose a shape from the Shapes menu and select what color you want it to be. Now move the new shape right next to the bridge so that they're touching. Use the grab cam to make sure the shape is in contact with your bridge. Now hold L1 and press square to open the shape editor, just like when you want to tweak something.
L1 and square.
When you're in the shape editor, you can let go of L1 and the shape will be fixed in place while editing.
L1 and square. I had X on
Notice the
accident.
sculpt menu has been replaced with the shape editor menu. The buttons vary a little depending on which tool and shape you're
Bang 'em.
using. The shape editor for the stamp tool has quite a few options.
Doing the
We're
tutorial.
only interested in one for now, the most exciting one, soft blend. The icon is the one with the two circles blending
Yeah.
together.
Soft blend right here. I'm doing this just for people that are new and that maybe would rather watch the tutorial instead of actually do it, or if they get stuck, they can watch this.
If the option isn't there, just check that you have the stamp shape tool equipped and
Look
not
at that
smooth
blend.
shape. This is important.
Holy shit. I'm learning stuff too, by the way.
Next to the icon, there's a slider and a toggle button. Sliders in the shape editor are round, which may seem unusual, but they work just like the sliders in tweak menus. The blend amount slider affects
Look at this blend amount. I gotta turn that.
how much the shape will
off.
blend with other shapes nearby. Try holding X on the slider and moving your imp up and down. This
Don't,
is how
you're
you
blowing my
get some
mind,
truly
X.
amazing
Watch out, dude.
shapes.
That's too much.
The hard
I
blend
can't even handle
toggle
that.
switches between
Oh my
hard
God.
and soft blends. Toggle between the two options with X to see the difference it makes.
Ah, see, some of the stuff I've never even messed with.
To
Like, I'm
close
like,
the
what?
shape editor, just press circle. Now have a play with your blendable shape. You can
Whoa.
only blend shapes that are part of the same sculpture. So if you can't see any blending on your shape, scope into the sculpture with
Like this kind of
L1
stuff. I've
and
never
X.
really even done this
You
before.
can make some very cool shapes using blending. Try making subtractive
Look at
blends
this.
too.
I can make like subtractive blend. Okay, I see.
Experiment with different shapes and blends on your bridge. Make it really fancy.
Oh, we're getting real fancy, bro. Don't worry.
You can jump back into the shape editor with L1 and square. You can use the shape editor in any of the sculpting tools. Try using soft blend with the spray paint tool.
Probably.
To exit the shape editor and return to sculpting, just press circle.
Circle.
When you've got the hang of the shape editor and you're happy with your bridge, try it out in play mode and get Connie to Cuthbert.
Get your stupid ass to fucking Cuthbert, you dumb bitch.
Take Connie through the door.
I could have done this a long time ago, by the way. But here's my little shape I made. I mean, I see. Oh, oops. So that was some cool stuff. There's a few things I've never even messed with before. Because you think that they have the power to show you they're dead after you're completely dead. Why don't they put the reserve engineer and make it unlimited? Tell me about it, bro. There's a lot of things that we're getting scammed on, I'm sure. Do you think there's like robots like living among us? No, we don't have the technology yet. But Cage, stop playing. Cage, I was thinking of a new song, dude. Someone. Oh, we did it. That's that sculpting tutorial. All right, last one. That'll be it. Painting advanced art. Do you want to leave your mark on the scene? Maybe you want to draw, scribble, create painterly effects. Here we show you the basic paint mode with simple ways to adjust paint strokes and animate them, I think. 9-step to it. Cheers, Bri. Here, I'll take a cheers for you. Final tutorial. Dreams is amazing. Thanks, Javen. How you doing, Bri? You playing a little Battlefield? I don't know. My phone battery sucks ass.
In this tutorial, we'll master.
It's not gonna tell you.
Uh-oh. Looks like Connie's having a bad day.
Connie.
Cuthbert got a bit handy with the lawnmower and mucked up her garden.
Mucked it
Sorry,
up.
Connie. Let's paint her a lovely new one in paint mode. So, to explain, everything you see in dreams is made up of little splats called flecks. They can be big, loose and painterly, or small, tight and smooth.
Ooh, that sounds
In paint
kinky.
mode, we deal with strokes, like
Share that
real-life
with me,
painting.
Dex.
Strokes are lines of flecks that you draw in 3D space using your imp. Let's make some now. Go to the assembly menu. If it's closed, just press the square button to open it.
Square button.
Then open the modes menu with X. It's this little
Click.
group of icons. In the modes menu, select paint mode. It has an icon with a paint squiggle. When you enter paint mode, you'll go straight into the flex menu,
Dead Rising.
and the brush flex tool will be equipped to your imp.
Engine.
See?
Whoa,
There's
dude.
a fleck on the tip of your imp.
It's
When you're
intense.
painting, everything else goes blurry and black and white to help you focus on what you're creating. You can adjust the visual feedback in your preferences, which you can find in the options menu. Try pressing and holding R2 while you move your imp around. And look at that. You're painting. Your imp creates a paint stroke made of
Painting,
a trail
man.
of flecks. Try changing how hard you press R2 as you paint. With the brush fleck tool, changing the pressure on R2 affects how opaque the flecks are.
So
if
I'm
you
barely
press
holding
R2
R2.
lightly, the flecks will be
Lightly.
more transparent.
Harder. 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 There you
Now
go. You can
press
kind of see.
square to open the paint menu so that we can look at some new colors and finishes. Look at the top row of buttons in the paint menu to find them. As well as the flex menu, which is already open, there are also menus for colors and finishes.
Dude. I want to
You can
see.
use these to change
Dex.
the color and finish of your flex.
I love Dead Rising. It's a great idea.
Practice with the brush flex tool and make as many strokes as you like. You can always undo any mistakes with the left directional button.
So we can change
Once you've got a
different
feel for
shiny
painting,
metal.
continue to the next step.
Do. Shiny. You know, nothing too crazy. Next step.
Was that fun? Now that you've made a gorgeous painting, hold L1 and press circle to scope out of paint mode.
Looks exactly like it.
It's just like scoping out of a group and works the same way for all creation modes. A painting is a single object created in paint mode, just like a sculpture is a single object created in sculpt mode. In assembly mode, you can move, scale, and rotate your painting. To edit the strokes in the painting, you can scope into it, just like you can with a group. Try scoping into the painting you just made. Hover over it, hold L1, then press X to scope in.
Might be down a little bit, Brian.
When you scope into a painting, you will automatically be put back into paint mode and equipped with the brush fleck tool.
So once we scope in with
Press
L1 and
circle
X,
to
we're back to
unequip the
painting.
brush fleck tool. Now you can use
Circle.
the move tool on the individual strokes in the painting.
7 on Twitch. Man,
You can scope out of the painting
that's
again
awesome.
with L1 and circle. Do you fancy making some flowers for Connie's garden?
Missed that part, sorry.
Connie loves flowers. Let's start by making a leaf.
Brian, I'll be off around 8:30 my time tomorrow. So I'll be home around 9 my time.
And then we can work our way up to the petals. Delete your practice painting using triangle. Then enter
we're
paint
deleting it.
mode in the modes menu.
Modes,
Choose a
Paint
color
mode.
and a finish from the paint menu.
color. Let's do green. Finish. Let's do shiny metal.
Then choose a fleck to paint with. Use the up and
Fleck.
down directional buttons to adjust the size of the fleck.
Let's do the
Now
splattery
paint a
one.
simple stroke. Remember, the harder you press, the more opaque the flecks will be.
One simple
If you want
stroke.
to take another shot at it, Just undo with the left directional button and try again.
Okay. First
When you're
stream.
happy with your leaf, go
What's
to
your,
the next step.
Oh, we're making a leaf. I wasn't really paying attention to that. Let's make a quick little leaf here. There's my leaf. Not bad. Not perfect. Looks more like a dinosaur.
Next, let's paint a stalk. In the context menu, you'll see a button with a plus sign icon. Select this button to start a new painting.
I want to next start new
For the
painting.
stalk, we'll use the Drawflex tool. Open the paint menu with square if it's closed, then select the tools menu.
Tools.
The Drawflex tool icon is a pencil. Select it with X.
Drawflex.
Drawflex acts more like a pen than a paintbrush. The harder you press R2, the larger the stroke gets. So if you press gently, the stroke will be quite small. When you scale the Drawflex tool, the fleck will get much bigger. That's because it's showing you the maximum size of the fleck. When you stop scaling, it reverts back to the smallest size the fleck can be.
Thanks, bro.
Try drawing a flower stalk with it. Have a few goes to practice.
Shit, I missed out. What's I doing?
Adjust the pressure on R2 as you paint the stroke, so that the stalk tapers at the end.
I've actually never really messed with this part, so I'm
Don't
kind
worry
of glad
about
I'm doing
lining
this.
it up with the leaf though. We'll do that later. When you're happy with your stalk, continue to the next step.
Alright, whatever, we got a stock, fine.
Now the exciting bit, the flower.
Hold on.
In the
Dex, just see, interaction library. It lets you interact with objects such as benches. Okay. I like that. Definitely. I'll check it
context
out.
menu, select the Start New Painting button. By starting a new painting,
Wait, hold on. I missed that first part.
now the exciting bit, the flower. In the context menu, select the Start New Painting button.
I gotta edit.
By starting a new painting, the flower will be a separate object to the stalk. We're going to paint the petals with the Stamp Flex tool, plus a special ingredient.
Sorry, I missed that one more time.
Now the exciting bit, the flower. In the context menu, select the Start New Painting button.
Started painting. Okay, there we go.
By starting a new painting, the flower will be a separate object to the stalk. We're going to paint the petals with the Stamp Flex tool, plus a special ingredient. You can find Stamp Flex in the Paint Mode Tools menu. Select it with X, then choose a fleck, color, and finish for your flower's petals.
Alright, a fleck, a color, and a finish. Let's do shiny wax. Okay.
Now for that special
Bench to the
ingredient,
left and
the
right.
Kaleidoscope
Whoa.
Guide.
Man,
You
you're
can find
next level
Kaleidoscope in the Guides
Dex.
menu, which is in the top row of the Paint menu. The
Guides.
Kaleidoscope icon looks like a snowflake.
Oh, I see.
Select it with X to turn it on. Leave the settings as they are for now. You can experiment with them later.
Ooh, experiment.
You'll now have a clump of 5 flecks on your imp. Stamp the clump in your scene. That will set the center of the kaleidoscope. There will now be 1 fleck on your imp and 4 others floating around the center point. Whatever you do with the fleck on your imp will be mirrored by the other 4. You might need to adjust your position to get a good view. You could also try rotating the fleck on your imp. To do that, hold L2 and use the sticks, or stroke the touchpad.
Sorry, I'm going too fast,
You can
probably.
use the up and down directional buttons to scale the flecks. Whatever you do, make a flower you like the look of. If you mess up, you can just undo it with the left directional button and try again. Add as many petals as you like. Try using different colors and sizes. You could also try using the other painting techniques you've learned. If you want to delete parts of the bloom, just unequip the Stamp Flex tool by pressing circle. Then use triangle to delete any parts you don't like. If you delete the first flex you stamped, the kaleidoscope guide will still be centered on their position.
Sorry, I'm in the zone right now.
With the Move tool equipped, you can also move or even clone parts of the
This
painting.
doesn't really look that good.
Flex created with the kaleidoscope guide
Ooh,
will
Dex.
always behave like a kaleidoscope.
Dude, I should
even
show
when
you.
the guide is turned off.
I should show you some of Dex's creations, man. He's next level shit. Like stuff I have no idea how he did. Even though I've got hundreds of hours in this.
Go ahead and experiment. Then, when you're happy, proceed to the next step.
Pretty happy. I think I just gotta move this. Oops. Go over that. I don't know. We got like a flower.
Now we've finished painting, unequip the Stamp Fleck tool with circle. And if it's still on, turn off kaleidoscope in the guides menu too.
LB3, like...
Scope out of the painting by holding L1 and pressing circle.
Played a lot of 1 and 2. What's they...
Now you can assemble the parts of the flower
Using
the Move tool.
They gave LBP3 to a different company. I must have missed a spot. I must have missed something here.
Let's group the flower so it's a single object.
Okay.
Select all of the flower parts with X.
So I'll click on that, and I'll click on
now
that.
Select the group button in the
We'll
context
click on group
menu.
up here. Click on that.
There.
Click,
We've
click.
made the flower a single group that we can move,
Now it's all
scale,
connected.
rotate, and clone. I spy some charming plant pots. How about we put the flower in one of them?
This is the worst flower.
Now let's make another flower by cloning the first one. So hold L1, then grab the flower with
I guess I've seen
R2 to
worse.
make a clone.
So put a flower in here.
We don't want them all to look identical though. Let's make a different
Clone
bloom.
this guy. Let's make a
You
different...
can scope into the flower group by holding L1 and pressing X over it.
Also, Dex learned today. I don't have any sculpting experience, but I've learned. Yeah. I also, well, I've never sculpted either. But I was trying to make a real space backdrop, like 100 looks. Dude, cool. Oops, wait, what happened here? Shit.
Now delete the bloom from the top of the plant.
No. Oh, okay.
Let's do something a bit different with this flower.
Okay.
In the next step, I'll show you how to edit the appearance of your flex.
So we got this flower over here. Looks, I mean, I've seen worse. But I don't know. If I were actually going through this and actually trying to make a flower, it'd be...
So,
let's
dude, make a beautiful new
this is
bloom for this flower.
Juicy Lucy weed
Enter
right here.
paint mode
We're about to
and
make
equip
some
the Stamp Flex tool.
purple phasio. That's what we're gonna call it. Purple fazio instead of purple hazio. Oh wait, hold on.
To
Let's
make
try
this
this.
bloom look
Sorry. This is not PG rated, by the way.
let's make a
Fuck
beautiful
off.
new bloom for this flower. Enter paint mode and equip the stamp flex tool.
Alright. Paint mode. Stamp flex.
To make this bloom look a little different, we're going to edit the flex appearance. We can do that by selecting the Edit Fleck button in the context menu. Or use the shortcut. Hold L1 and press square to open the Fleck editor.
That's what I recommend. L1 and square.
It's the same shortcut as opening a tweak menu.
Pickle string.
The Fleck editor has sliders for altering the appearance of the Fleck.
Get you all fucked up.
They look a bit different to the sliders you see in tweak menus, but they work.
You should infuse, dude. Infuse your pickles with like CBD or something.
Them up and down using X and
That's
see
all
what
I would
they
eat.
do to the Fleck on your imp.
Holy shit! Look at this shit.
How exciting! The fade slider adds extra flecks that fade away near the edges.
Okay.
The scatter slider adds extra flecks with impasto to create a more three-dimensional.
Yeah, that's what I said, didn't I? DMT. Oh, DMT. Holy shit.
The opacity slider makes the fleck.
Just throw some acid in there. I'll grub them down.
Once you've adjusted the sliders to your liking, simply press circle to exit the Fleck editor and start painting with your Fleck.
Alright, let's paint the shit.
Now create a new bloom for the flower.
Fuck yeah, I'll create a new
Try turning
bloom.
on kaleidoscope again.
Yes, Dex. Absolutely. I mean, if you just want me to look at it, I'll just look at it. But I could also use that in a lot of cool stuff too.
When
But
you're finished,
totally your call.
exit the painting by pressing L1 and circle. Move the new bloom onto the stalk, and then scope out of the group with L1 and circle. When you're done, move on to the next step.
Alright, I'm done. So we got flower 1, flower 2. Not a whole lot better, but we're just kind of chugging through these tutorials.
Now we have some new flowers. How about a bit of rain to
Maybe I'll check it out once I
We can do that by creating
done with
an
these tutorials.
animated stroke.
I'm almost done, I think.
Make sure you're scoped out of any paintings or groups.
Okay, this next tutorial I really need to pay attention to because I think this is something I don't really understand yet. So, excuse me if I don't. Nope, Dex did not help you with the pickle thing. That was Benji Dixon. Darkness not Dex. Just another dude, another buddy of mine. Similar. They're both really good with stuff I'm not good with. Dex, definitely, Brian, you should give him a sub. You guys should sub to each other. Alright, here we go. Play.
Then select paint mode from the modes menu.
Jake Benzel, dude. Who's this guy? Jacob Wetterling? Is that who that is? I got your red sweater, dude. I buried it in my backyard along with your bones. Just kidding. What's up, bro? I saw you playing Rocket League. I would have joined you, but I had to stream this. I was about to stream, but Brian, Jake,
the rule flex tool.
Jake's my real friend.
It's in the
real life friend.
Menu.
Brian's my digital friend.
Now we have some new flowers.
Right. Focus. All right, here we go.
Of rain to water them. We can do that by creating an animated stroke.
Well, because I just found his body.
Make sure you're scoped out of any paintings or groups.
Shut up. Are you serious,
Then
Dex? Are you fucking serious? Dude, let's go. Let's play. I'm a platinum. I'm not a diamond, but
from the modes menu.
Jake's a
For
dude.
the rain, we'll use the rule flex tool. It's in the paint mode tools menu. The icon looks like a ruler.
Oh my god. I'm feeling
The rule flex tool lets you draw straight lines made of flex.
Okay, I gotta focus here.
Choose a
Godly.
fleck, color,
Let's see.
and finish for your rain. Something watery.
I'm a team player in that game. I love
Then
Rocket
close the
League.
menu with
Love it.
square.
Love, 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 love. Been playing it for
These flecks
years.
are going to be raindrops, so make them
Oh,
small
pretty good.
using the down directional button. Move your view back from the flowers so that you can see plenty of space above them.
RL for life, bro.
Then position your imp at a reasonable distance
Should play
above the
decks
flowers
sometime.
and press and hold R2.
All my friends. We all play it.
Stretch the stroke down to the grass at a slight angle.
Slight
then
angle.
release R2 to stamp
Oh,
it.
shit. Whoa.
This line of flex is going to be the path of the raindrop.
Hold on, I gotta turn off Kaleidoscope. I don't remember him telling me to do that. I'm also gonna turn this to circular, even though it didn't tell me to do that either. Alright, so I'm gonna shoot it down at a little angle. Okay, let's go.
Click the
Oh!
rule flex tool with
It just
circle.
restarted my computer.
Then scope out of your painting using L1 and circle. It doesn't look like much at the moment, but in the next step, I'll show you how to make it look more rainy.
See, I don't know how to do this part. I'm excited. And I won't be able to see your comments for a little bit because
To animate the
Oh wait,
painting,
let's get my
we
phone
need
going.
to tweak it. So hover your imp over the painting you just made. Hold L1 and press square to open its tweak menu.
L1 square. Okay.
Look for the animation page of the tweak menu. The tab has a clapperboard icon.
Right here.
The slider at the top controls the playback speed. Grab the slider with X and pull it to the right.
Found it.
You won't see anything change to start with. In order to see animation, you'll need to start time by clicking R3.
Alright, he went to 600%.
Use the grab cam or the sticks to get up close to the stroke, and you'll see the flex are moving along it.
Check that out.
You can increase the playback speed to make them move faster.
Yeah, go finger faust yourself, Brian.
The next step is to switch on pulse.
It's
When
fine.
pulse is on,
Just kidding.
you won't see the whole stroke. Instead, a
Gotta
pulse
turn on
of flex will
pulse.
travel
Oh,
down
look
it.
at this. See, I didn't know this. I didn't know these
Select
things.
the pulse button in the animation tab of the tweak menu. Its icon is a bomb.
It's a fucking bomb.
Ah, yes. That looks much more like a raindrop. You can shorten the trail of the pulse using the slider below the pulse button. Shorten the trail a little to achieve a
Dude.
raindrop look.
See, I didn't know this.
The drops are still a little on the slow side. Grab the playback speed slider and turn it right up.
Okay. Okay.
That's more like it.
No,
One
we're
raindrop
real
isn't
friends,
gonna
bro.
water many flowers,
Fuck
though.
the internet.
There's
I was
a
just kidding at
handy
what I
way
said
to
earlier.
duplicate your painting without having to clone it loads of times.
Next time I come to Cali, dude,
Show
I'm
you in the
coming
next
over.
step.
just gonna bring a bat to your garage and just break all your aquariums. Just get
So
slow
now
mo.
let's duplicate our raindrop and create a proper downpour. In the tweak menu of the raindrop painting, look for the duplicates tab.
Oh, here we go.
The
See,
duplicates icon is a pair of sheets,
this
just like
is
the clone tool.
this is gonna blow my mind. I think.
This tab is used to create duplicates automatically,
See,
based
I
on a
don't know this.
variety of options.
I knew I was missing something.
The positional duplicates options determine where the copies appear.
Right here, dude.
The
This
option
is
we
it.
want is around camera.
Oh my god.
Select it and see what happens.
I just had an aneurysm.
Wow, now it looks like it's really raining.
It does.
This
Look at that.
setting duplicates the painting around the camera automatically, so wherever we go in the scene, it will seem like it's
Oh my
raining.
god. This is why I did this tutorial,
At the
because of
bottom
this
the duplicates tab
right here.
are 3 sliders. They affect how many of them there are, how far apart the duplicates are spaced, and whether they are scaled randomly. Try adjusting the sliders and see if you can create an effect you like.
Man, this is great. Just blew my own mind.
Then close the tweak menu using the close button in the corner, or hold L1 and press circle over the tweak menu to close it. Now that we've watered the garden, let's add some finishing touches. Open the assembly menu with square, then select the search button with X.
Search.
The collection for this tutorial contains lots of great things made in paint mode.
Jeez.
There are also more plant
Wish.
pots and a garden shed made in sculpt mode. Use the collection to finish making Connie's garden. Stamp some plants or pots, or paint more plants of your own. Make it lovely. When you're happy with the garden, stamp the shed in there somewhere. To finish the tutorial, switch over to play mode and walk Connie through the door of the shed.
Come into my shed, Connie. Alright. So it's raining. Pretty horrible rain, but I could make it look a lot better, but I don't want to. I just want to finish this. Wow, that might have been it. I don't know. You can return. Tutorial has been saved. Okay, well done. Ooh, okay, I got some rewards. Little unlock. Alright, well that was it. We completed the Dreams Workshop art tutorial. All three, including bam 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 bam. Cloning the raindrop is what we finished with. So that concludes it. And I don't know if Dex is still in here. Are you still in here, Dex? If you are, I'll check out the thing you sent me. Otherwise, I'm bouncing. So, you know, I like to create stuff. Sneak peek on what I've been working on lately. My Ninja Turtle level. This is very early. It doesn't represent the actual product at all, but there's going to be a street biome, a water biome, and then the sewer tunnel biome. It's going to be a little boarding. You want to grind stuff, you go faster. And you can do cool shit like left grab, right grab, double grab. But I don't see Dex in here anymore, so just gonna end it there. That was the tutorial for art. The custom, not my tutorial, but hope you learned a few things, because I definitely did. Ready to blow up. Oh, Dex. Okay. Alright, then I will check out what you just sent me, but I gotta pee, so I'll be right back. So we're gonna finish this off with a bang here. Darkness on decks, and let's make sure you go to drink water 200. Give this dude a fucking follow. Beast mode, way above my level, at least in like a lot of aspects. Like, I gotta link you up with Benji, dude. You guys remind me of each other. So wait, what did you show me? Require interaction. Here we are. Okay, so we'll just walk around it. Oh, nothing, no big deal. Okay, da da da. Let's say we want to sit. Triangle. Wait, triangle. Cute. Okay, triangle to stand back up. What was the other button I saw? Saw something. Oh, okay, I can just sit wherever I want. Okay, dude, that's... It all starts with these kind of things right here. I think you could maybe smoothen out the camera a little bit. I don't know if you could or not. How it just like jolts right to it. But I don't know. That's my... Get behind the bench. There it is. What the... Who's I mean... Oh, oh, what? Oh, oh, I'm stuck. Looks like you got a little work to do there, pal. No. Here, let's just rewind it. So my question is, why would I want to? What's this? What's going on here? What's the situation where you're gonna somehow balance on the back of the bench? I want to see a little vault over the bench and just sit down. But Drinkwater 200. Character, designer, animator, YouTube. Awesome YouTube channel. Ooh, this looks cool. Whoa. Whoa, dude. This person just follows me? Could I recommend maybe making this person like way slower so I could actually get some distance and turn around instead of them just... Well, you haven't even published this yet. But. Triangle kick. L1. Okay. Oh, look at the lock on. I wish I could remix that and just look at it. I like being able to look at your stuff and like just see how you made it. Crap. Let's look at some more of Darkness. Yeah. I'm a big critic, you know. I'm going to tell you everything I hate about it before what I like about it. You love your Ben 10. That's really good. I like that a lot. Oh, don't get me started on this. That is remixable? Okay, hold on, I'll check it out in a second. Oh my god. Did you make this, Sackboy? Did you make this, Sackboy? Yeah, doesn't surprise me you made Ben on the watch. I remember watching you make that. That's one of your earlier streams when you were making his watch. Cool. I love how people work together in this game. You can help each other out. So let's I'm a huge LBP fan. I mean, you're missing the zipper down his front chest there. Again, I'm just critiquing. Obviously, maybe make that zipper a little more shiny. I feel like that zipper could be. Oh, it's the best sack boy out there. Oh shit! I mean, I'm not gonna disagree. But again, you're missing. Where's the zipper right here? He needs that zipper. Psh, come on, bro. Maybe even he doesn't have the stitching either. He doesn't have like that texture. Looks like he's made out of wood. But don't take it as a bad criticism. I love it. Because Little Big Planet just gives me good memories. He's a little too fast too. You can maybe slow him down like about 12%. Yeah, add that shit. What the fuck you doing? No, just kidding. Let's see what else. We're finishing this Dreams PS4 tutorial, Art Dreams Workshop tutorial with little featured decks. I'd like to do I want to do a whole video just featuring new decks. Oops. And I will. Oh, this is where we just were. Yeah, you know. It's alright. Give me one last thing you want me to play. Oh, see this? Were you watching me the other day, Dex, where I was doing my Ninja Turtle stream, where I'm a boarder? I almost think we should collaborate. Because it's a hoverboard. Holy shit. I don't love it though. It's got issues. God damn. Well, okay, we're on the hoverboard. Here's my feedback. Okay, we're gonna jump back to that in just a sec. I'm gonna show you what I got going on here. I don't know if you saw this. This is what I'm working on. But my hoverboard is just, there's no hoverboard, it's just straight up, my puppet is rigged with just a fucking, like if I zoom in here, it's just, I made this quick board here, and it's just connected to both his feet. So it's nothing separate, you don't jump on it like your hoverboard. But I would still prefer this over what you have, just because it's just, yours is a little janky. But the reason why I like your hoverboard is because with this dude, he can't go like, he can only go this way. I can't go this way and go the other way. He's only got one direction he can go. And if you've ever played Super Nintendo, where there's a level, it's essentially what I'm basing this off of. What'd you say? So if you look up Super Nintendo, SNES, Ninja Turtle, water hoverboard level, it's kind of like this, where you're in the water. But I love your help. Like, you know, mine's a lot more simple. You just... Shh. I don't know. I'm sorry if you've already looked at this. You probably have, but... So if we go back to yours... like, I love your hoverboard and the functionality of it and how you can jump on it, but it's got like a little jankiness to it, you know what I mean? Like like if I jump on it here. Okay, first of all, it's fucking awesome. Imagine if we had my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles level. Before you even get on the hoverboard, you fucking chop some dudes up. Oh shit. Chop them up. Take out some of the Foot Clan. And then you hop on the board. Alright, you gotta fix that. I'm hitting triangle. Like, that's already janky. Look at that. You shouldn't be, like, leaning forward that much. I could use a little more accurate, a little more precision. I know, don't tilt. What do you mean by don't tilt? But like, I like how you jump like that. And I really like how you can still attack. And if you see the old Ninja Turtles level, you're like fighting dudes. It's not even a race. It's like you're fighting dudes. It's a beat 'em up. Like hold R2. See, I'm trying to get on here, dude. What's going on? Is that like a turbo? But it depends on like what situation you're going for. I'm hitting R2. Is that just makes me go faster? But look how I'm like leaning forward. That's obviously not what you want. I'm assuming that's not what you're going for. You should be centered like this. The music's probably a little too loud too. But I'm looking for like the perfect hoverboard. I'm not looking for I'm not looking for just a hoverboard. I want it to be perfect. I can't like deal with. Oh, now we're stuck. I'm not trying to tilt. Like this is just me moving. I'm just aiming with my left joystick. Nice. I love being able to attack though. Holy shit. Look at that attack. So you do a swing. Oh, it's a left and a right. I gotta change that setting on mine so you don't die right away when you jump too high. Really cool decks, dude, though, like... But that's my feedback. It's... If you can just make it so it functions with my Ninja Turtle level, we're good to go. In fact, you know what? Let's just add you. I'm gonna add you right now. And you decide what you want to do. If you don't even want to help, that's fine. I'm not gonna be mad. Oh, but I have to share it though. Fuck. I'd have to figure that out first, but. But anyway, I could spend all day. I could spend all day looking at your stuff, Dex. You'll be my first. I'm gonna make you my first artist feature, just because you've helped me so much. Want to hoverboard for your Ninja Turtle? Well, again, like you look at it. Right now, it's not even a hoverboard. I just straight up attached a board to my feet, and I'm just gonna assume you didn't see my stream the other day. So R2, right grab, L2, left grab, R2 and L2, double grab, and also triangle. If I hit triangle, he does like a grind. So if I want to like triangle right away, he'll like. If I don't triangle, this is no triangle. This is with triangle. Double, you can grind real quick. So if I'm trying to like hit a grind real quick, boom, triangle. Didn't need to do it there. Triangle, boom. So it's kind of like your grind move, but it's optional if you're trying to get a little extra grindage. And I know you'll fix it, dude. Oh shit. But like, the problem is before I can actually have you collaborate, I have to make it public. So I'll do that right after the stream. So I'm just gonna end the stream here. I probably went on too long, but the whole point of this stream was just to do that tutorial. I've had a couple tutorial streams where I just specifically go through one tutorial, whether it's dreaming, art, logic, character creation, animation, audio, gameplay, masterclass. I don't do the move controllers yet, even though I have move controllers, but because I've actually done a lot of things, but that one is the one I really want to do more for myself, to learn stuff. And I actually did learn some really important stuff, especially how to make my own rain, essentially. I can make snow, I can make falling embers, whatever. But that's it. So thanks for tuning in. It's Clever Trev. I'm gonna end my stream, but I'm always gaming. Feel free to send me messages if you want to compile on something. If you want to collaborate. If you want to try to meet me somewhere and we can just straight up do like a fist fight, I'm cool with that too. Hold up, sending the backdrop. Not sure what you mean on that. Cool, dudes. Game on decks. Clever Trev over and click.